Hey everyone, Silly here. Let's make some money on some of the new areas in Lighthouse. What you see on screen now is an example of a loot run I just did. We made just under 500,000 rubles, so not too bad. But the one you're about to see right now, we just made slightly under 1,000,000 rubles. So feel free to stick around and see all the areas we looted to get there. I hope the video is helpful. Let's get into loot run. So this is where we're gonna start our loot run. We're on the bridge in between like the hideout village and the rogue camp. If you're USEC, you should have no problems getting here. If you're a bear, I would just highly recommend you stick to the right side, creep your way around to this side of the bridge, and then you should be good to go from here. Once you get here, we're gonna run across the bridge and we're gonna quickly look in this little white shack, and that's because just right in here, we're actually gonna be looking for some moonshine. Now, I believe the moonshine spawns right here on the chair. I haven't seen it, but just in case it doesn't, take a look on the couch. I'm almost confident it's on the chair, and then right on here, you'll actually have a few ammo box spawns. Sometimes you get some good ammo, so I do recommend you check there. It doesn't hurt. No one ever checks it, so free money. After we loot that white shack, we're gonna hug this blue fence, and that's gonna keep you safe from the rogues. You're gonna run all the way down here, and I'll let you know when you'll kind of be in danger. As you're doing this, just keep an eye on the right. Players can be up there who like to snipe the rogues, and if that's the case, just be a little mindful. Sometimes no one might be up there, or if you spawn here and you're close to the side of the map, then you'll probably be here first, and you can do this run without any worries. Next thing, we're gonna come across this box. Look in it. It might have a gold spawn. Things like your GB coin, your Bitcoin, things like that. Definitely worth checking. Then we're gonna keep going all the way down to the end of the white fence, and then when you get to the end of the white fence, here's where you might have some rogue encounters right here. Okay, rogues can either spawn in front of warehouse 3. I'll show you that in a second. Right there. So rogues can spawn right around this area in front of warehouse 3, or deeper inside of warehouse 3. If they spawn right here in front of warehouse 3, as you're coming up here, I'm sure you'll probably hear them. They'll probably call out to you as you're in their aggro range, pretty much. And they might say, like, you know, enemy spotted, stuff like that. That's fine. Come up to this doorway, and if you can use the Alt-D lean trick to slow lean around this corner, you should be able to peek the rogues and engage them that way without them killing you. If you have a long gun like me, just stand back a little bit, so it lets you lean around the door there, and then you should be able to pick off those rogues there. If those rogues are gone or not there, because again, they usually don't spawn there, but they can. If they're clear there, then you can come right around here to past the door and safely loot this stash, which is gonna be the first container of this run. Empty one, but you know, we'll take a blood set. It's fine. After that, we can walk on inside here. And if there are rogues inside the camp there, and as we're running in this way, by the way, make sure you don't want to be peeking building 2, because there's a gunner right there. So when you come in, especially if you're a bear, make sure you swing right, you know, just get around this truck. And then if there are some rogues in there, you'll have to fight them. Use right hand peeks whenever you can, and then use the Alt-D trick to slowly peek them and engage them that way. Once you're done with that, first thing we're gonna loot is this box right here. This is another your gold valuable spawn, so Bitcoin, skull rings, rollers, or you can get injectors or military loot, stuff like that. So make sure you get that loot indicator, because stuff can spawn right there, like underneath all that debris. Then we're gonna check this room on our left, one of the new areas. It's a bunch of bunk beds. In these crates, you can sometimes find some good hideout items or tech items even. You'll find stuff all scattered throughout the beds. Sometimes things spawn like inside the bed and you can't grab them. So get your loot indicator in there to see if there's anything. Some items you can, but some items unfortunately are too small. You have a rare spawn right where this ace is in this box, so make sure you get that loot indicator into every crevice. That can give you some more expensive military loot. Yeah, we're going to be continuing looking at all these boxes. Apple juice, not the greatest this time, but we'll take a look at this weapon box. We love a nice weapon box. Let's see. Again, looking for like suppressors. If you're very familiar with the gunsmith quests, any of the expensive gunsmith quests, like certain scopes, certain attachments that are required for the gunsmith quests, will be good to look in there. or to grab from those. Jacket for keys, so we always check a jacket, or at least I like to when I see it. Nothing more on top of these boxes, so we're good to go in that room. Next thing, we go right across into the next room, another new area, part of this patch. So we're gonna look all along these cabinets back here, through these boxes for some hideout items. These cabinets here, looking for red pliers, elite pliers, or any of those valuable like things like nails and stuff like that. Nothing there this time, that's okay. First door here is basically a massive kitchen area, and what we're gonna be looking for is sugars and stuff like that. Sometimes I come out of this room alone with like 216. That's a pretty good room. West 216 is a great key, so that's always why we check jackets. Again, all these services for sugars, so we see one there. As I was saying before, sometimes I come out with 2, 3, 4 sugars from this room alone. This is a really good room for sugars, and you want to be holding on to them until they spike in the flea market. Well, people have gotten most of their moonshine production up and running, because that requires sugars. So at that point in the wipe, sugars go for around 100k. That's when you want to sell bulk sugars. It's a great way of making money, so I highly recommend it to anybody. Next thing, we have a ammo box spawn all up in here, so if you're looking for ammo, so you can find them all along here. Then first room on our right, we're in this room. This room's great. Right where you see the this UV lamp, there's 2 spawns for things like iridium, vertexes, GPUs, Bitcoin, streamer items. 2 spawns on each shelf here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Really good item. The most I've seen is 3 items on this at once, but I would love to see all 4. Then on this table, right where the M cable is, and this 1G phone. Again, valuable, rare military items or bitcoins, things like that. Rare tech, so that's good there. We have a PC back there if you want to go for it. However, I'm not going to jump around and reach for it. Then you have a jacket. You can actually loot the cabinets in front of me. You can see you can search these. Sometimes these are good for things like Intel, things like SAS drive. That's another great one. Those are good for Peacekeeper, things like diaries. Are good for Peacekeeper. They sell for good USD, or even flash drives if you're looking for those. So I'll give another one of these a look, because why not? That was a good one. We have an SAS drive, USB, so not as great, but always a good thing to check those. Once we're done with that, we're actually going to go into the building, presuming that there are no rogues or you killed them all. And we're going to go up these right stairs, and this box right here is another gold spawn box. You can get like GP coins, bitcoins, rollers, rare military items, injectors, all that stuff right in there. And after I check that, I typically run all the way down this end looking for the hoses, rare military items, you name it, all that fun stuff that can be on the rafters. The you know, even a GPU if you're lucky. Vertexes, you want to be looking out for that if you can. After we're done, we run down these stairs. I like to look on these like little marshmallow bags, these white bags here, because you can get a fuel con I've seen spawn up there, especially if you're looking for it for the Ragman quest. And then I like to look the dead stav, because they kind of work similarly to the things like the duffel bags. They can just basically have any items. I pulled graphics cards out of dead scavs. I've pulled bitcoins out of dead scavs. I've pulled many valuable things out of dead scavs. After you're done with building 3, we're gonna run out. I like to stay as furthermost right as I can. Again, you have that gunner that could be right there. So as you're coming, you might want to check if that gunner's still alive. You can have to use the doorway to do that. It can be right up there. There he is right there. So if you want to use the doorway, you can actually shoot the gunner from here if he's still up there. Safe way to do that. There could be rogues that spawn in the second warehouse building. That's why I stick to the right, try to not aggro them. You have some weapon spawns, ration spawns, ammo spawns, and even hideout spawns. I've seen D-Fuel up there if you're interested. But I typically hang right here, try to avoid the rogues that might be in there. I would have shot that one through the door if it was still alive. Then I come up this way. One last place rogues could be sometimes is behind this warehouse. So take a look there, make sure there's no one's like behind there. And then I run up this way and hug this white wall here on the right side. And that's because there's one more rogue turret that we're gonna have to deal with, just in case rogues could be in it. I wish that door was openable. That would make this whole thing way easier. Or if you had high strength, I wonder if you can actually, probably couldn't do this now. But with high strength, I believe you can actually jump that. I believe I did that last wipe, unless that's changed. But when you get past this truck, you want to slow down a little bit, and that's because a rogue is usually on this gun here. He might be dead already from another player, or if he's aggroed, he might be running around, so be careful if he's running around on the roof, because you'll have to engage him a little earlier. But if he's up there, you want to look for that gun. If it's tilted up like that, you can tell that he's dead. If not, you're going to have to slowly creep out here. Once you start to see him a little bit, you can AD, or slowly lean LD, right hand peek him, and then you should be able to get that rogue. And then once he's dead, you can come around and inside. Once you're inside, you're pretty much safe from most threats. The only thing you got to worry about is scabs can run along this road here from this end to this end of the train station, but usually they'll always be out in the open. Usually they'll always, okay, silly, relax, bro. But 99% of the time they'll just be standing out in the open, and they're pretty easy to pick off, so go ahead and pick them off. Next thing I like to do real quick is loot this corner, and right here in front of this crate you'll have some loose weapon spawns. You can get things like some of the best grips in the game, the best scopes in the game, like the Voodoo, Valde. Some of those meta weapon attachments spawn right here in front, so definitely keep on the lookout. I constantly see like grips worth 100k just lying on the ground there, so definitely check that. Then we have the weapon boxes, looking for barrels and all that, as we usually do. Jump behind that, we have a stash back here. We can go ahead and check this. Go ahead and loot that. Okay, perfect. We'll take that. Swordin's good. I'll do take those headphones. Ushanko's good if you're looking for that Jaeger food. The Jaeger food quest. Right on this surface here, all of these surfaces here, you can have really good hideout items. Things like pressure gauges, military cables, any of those like thermites and stuff like that on these boxes all up around here. So check this area as you're running by. Next thing I like to do is check one more box quickly down this way, and that's because one box here has another gold spawn for like bitcoins, like GPUs, even vertexes, that sort of stuff. So on all the way down here, again, you might see some scabs here along this road. If you do, just make some quick work of them. Sometimes they're up on that last platform next to the warehouse there. We're gonna look in this building on the ground here, and then we're gonna jump up, and we're gonna look in this one as well. Once we're done that, sorry guys. Once we're done that, we're gonna run back the way we came. Sometimes you can just choose to skip that box if you want, or if you have a lot of good loot on you, you can skip that one, because the next place we're gonna go is one of the newer part of the map, one of the new places opened up. This was actually a lot. Some people still don't know about this because it's within the shipping containers, which kind of just looks the same way it did last time, or last wipe. But the next place we're gonna look is right in here. This open crate is actually a military, or sorry, like a medic drug lab sort of area. So it looks very pretty, and of course it's supporting those channel colors, so shout out there. But what this place is great for is a whole bunch of meds, rare meds, injectors. Like you can get things like mules and any of those syringes you need for your samples, golden stars, like ibuprofens, stuff like that. And all these services, I like to start looting the right side first. Take a look at these services here. Right here where this iridium is another rare spawn, also in that box there. So always look here where the cables is in this right corner on this box for military tech spawns, so we'll take that. Then right here on this chair underneath the book, they can get bitcoins and stuff like that, or more military rare tech items like cables and stuff like that, rollers. And if you do get some of those like smaller spawns like GP coins, rollers, bitcoins, they can actually they'll spawn underneath this book. So get your loot indicator in that book just to make sure you're not missing it, because you won't actually see it. Now we're going to check on all this couch here. So we got ibuprofen. Okay, English please. Thank you. Checking all these services here. Nothing too crazy so far, but oh, actually we have a morphine there, and we have some med tools there, which is great for crafting. So it's very nice. I'm going to check along these services there. Right on this table here, you actually have a intelligence spawn. So we're gonna look for the intel on here. These shelves has more medical items. Sometimes if you have things like golden stars, they can blend in really well to this shelf. So get that loot indicator as well in all of these shelving units. Right on the ground here, you can even get some items. So look on the ground around these walls here. And once you're done that, you are finished looting the drug area. We're gonna quickly swing a right now because we're gonna check one more area before we head to extract. And that is right around the back here. Actually, two more areas. We have the same situation with the boxes. This box can spawn your gold valuable spawns and your rare military items, as well as this box up here. Then back here we have like a fuel area. In this fuel area, you can sometimes see a like fuel can that can actually spawn. So take a quick strafe right past these fuel canisters. I didn't see any. And then behind this trailer at the end here, we actually have another stash. I think it's right in this bush somewhere just before it. Yeah, right there. It's one of the grassy ones, hard to see. So let's see what we got in here. Marlboro's pretty cool. And a sling, not the best. Marlboros would be good for the mechanic quest if you still looking for these cigarette packages. And I believe the Marlboros are also used. It's either the Marlboros or the Strike that are used for the BS ammo trade for prop war. I believe it's the one that requires the hot rods and the cigarettes for BS ammo, which is super good. Now, the last place I like to look while I'm in this area is on these shelves here, because all on this stuff you have a bunch of rare hideout items can spawn here. Things like thermites, things like the TC 200s or 2000s, epoxy, which sells pretty much on the flea market or pretty well on the flea market. And then once we're done that, we're basically heading to extract. You can check this warehouse if you want to. I don't think we'll have the strength to jump across it because we're still not max level strength yet, and we still can't jump that far. We're gonna go around this. We go around this, and out that door there is where the northern extract can be. If you're looking for the northern extract, do we have it? Let's see if we do. So we do have the northern checkpoint extract. So we'd just be going outside of this fence, and you'll see like a little area out there is where we'd extract. But I'll quickly show you two more areas I just thought of. On these tables, you can get some streamer items and things like thermite, keg tape can sometimes spawn there. You have this warehouse, which is full of like hideout items. Here you have toolboxes inside of each other. So the way to access both of them is by hitting F. You can do your looting and see what's inside this one. Right, well look, that's plexiglass and a magnet. Then we'll close this one and hit F immediately again to loot the one under it. Oh, no, we messed that up. So we'll open that, close, do the same thing. Oh, you can see it there. There's the next one there. Now we're looting a new toolbox. So double toolbox, epoxy there, and we'll take two epoxy. That's 40k. Pretty great. Then you can look all along these boxes and shelving units for various hideout items. Keg tapes are pretty good. On this table, you actually have an Intel or a what's it called? A USB. Okay, a USB drive can actually spawn there on the table. And you have another jacket if you're looking for that. We'll go ahead and look in there. Perfect. And then on these surfaces, you have more things like keg tape, nails, bolts, screws. You want to be finding that because a lot of people leave those, and those are some of the most valuable items to be leaving, especially when people are trying to race through their hideout stuff. So bolts are going for like 30-ish, 40k sometimes, and they get sold pretty much instantly, so that's always pretty good. If you don't have the northern checkpoint extract at this point, what you can do is I always bring money on me, and there's the car extract just down this road. So again, be careful about the rogues here because sometimes the warehouse 2 rogues can be in this parking lot. But the car extract is right over there. You can see that black car. So if you have the money, I would take the car extract if you can. If you don't have money and your next extract would be like Path to Shoreline, so you'll have to run back that way. And that just about wraps up our Lighthouse loot run video. If this video helped you make some money, then this video has done its job. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, new blueberry cashews snore just as loudly as your lawnmower.